salivations and all that. What's up, my guy? We in week 3 with it. Moving right along. Merriweather's word of the day is disheveled. So that's someone that pretty much don't got it together, or having the appearances of being, dang, what I'm trying to guess. I read it, but I'm not looking at it right now. Like, clothes all wrinkled, buttons ain't together, look like they just got in a fight and it didn't go their way, or like just got out of a car crash or something like that, or woke up and got dressed real fast in the dark. So do with that information what you will. Where I would start with the working out, I only had 2 spins, and I ain't gonna hold you. Like, even right now, I ain't gonna make no excuses though, but some of these days I've been working on the business. I'm heading home right now. It's 8 o'clock, and I'm still 30 minutes from home. So, man, some of these nights I get to the house and it's like, I ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm doing? I'm finna eat, and I don't even make it in the bed sometimes, just, right here on the floor. Yeah, I take a shower when I wake up at 2 in the morning, but, man, so I ain't been on it like that or whatever. And there definitely was some days where I was just chilling or whatever, but I'm on it. So that was that with that. I think I like addressing the book first. So I think I won't know until I hear The Richest Man in Babylon again, but man, The Alchemist, it might be like number 1. And it's funny, I get to that and I ain't getting too far ahead. I kind of tie in, but yeah, like that's my favorite book. As far as right now goes, like I said, now I listen to The Richest Man in Babylon in a week or two. I might, be like, you know what? Is 1A, 1B, or they both just tied. But for right now, after just listening to The Alchemist for a week straight, yeah, man, that's my favorite book or whatever. I even decided that I'm gonna get Mach 2 tattooed on me. So I know I was talking about getting the frog and the clock. So I'm gonna get that and incorporate Mach 2 in it as well. So I don't know if, when I'm gonna get it done or who, because I don't just let anybody tattoo on me. And I ain't had a tattoo in over 10 years, but I'm getting those. Mach 2, the eat the frog, and the clock. So, find the right artist, tell the artist the idea, and see if we could work something out together with, like, use your artistic, creativity to bring this to life. Let me see what you get based on what I said, and we meet in the middle somewhere, because it's gonna be on me for the rest of my life. So, but yeah, I listened to that, man, and like, it really just got me back on point, and the timing was dope. Like, of course, I knew that tomorrow being Friday is the last day of this contract or whatever, and so, my personal legend or whatever is right now like my business. And, I just had like a little moment with it or whatever, like, I'm leaving from somebody's house. These people are more than satisfied. They more than happy with paying the rates. And it's like, again, man, sometimes it just hit me and I'm overwhelmed. Like, Lil D from Boulevard Homes, like, at this point you would still consider it more of a side hustle. Like, I'm still aiming to, keep a job. I'm not jumping out there yet, because I want to have my savings where it is and just more stability, like, where we can all weigh in with it. Even though, I'm about to be all the way in with it right now because I don't have nothing else lined up. So I still get, because, I'm cool with taking contracts, I'll have those moments, but no, like, that leap of faith where it's like, I got this over here in the accounts. I'm not even applying for no more jobs, and that had to come with something crazy for me to even consider, because I'm just all in with this. But still, just to, leave from these job sites sometimes it hit, and it's like, man, like, bro, I'm really moderately semi-successful small business owner. Like, in a year's time, I'm doing my thing, and I'm overly proud of myself because of that. So, like I said, we don't have, look at that. See, now if I hit him, I'd be wrong. No, they ain't had no time to get out there. But yeah, had so I guess I was talking about the books. Right now I'm listening to Tony Robinson, Money Master the Game, and I think my manager has said that because they listen to audio books too, but there's a more like fantasy. After listening, especially to The Richest Man in Babylon and The Alchemist, like, you need a palate cleanser, because it's like, it's hard to lock into another book if it's not on their level. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I haven't come across a book yet where it's like, yeah, it hit. That give yourself 6 months. If those are like, I play 2K, so if those are 2K legend level, then I get it. Give yourself 6 months. If it ain't if it's not Hall of Fame, it's at least high gold, bordering Hall of Fame. Like, it's a step or two down, but it's really good. And I definitely know I'll listen to that again. You know what I mean? Like, more than likely, I'll listen to that at the 6-month mark. So, okay, you did, you know, check back in. You did 6 months. Now, for the next 6 months, whatever, you know, to make it all the way to December, if I, you know, live to see it and have my health and my wits about me or whatever. So, but listen to Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game, and we're doing Lift today. It was definitely hard to lock in with it because a lot of people was talking. Like, we was some chatty Cathys. I talk, they talk, we talking. I ain't listening to this book, so I don't think I made it past. Like, I know I looked up and it might have been there because the book, I think the book 10 hours, so I've been listening to that literally. I might get to listen to that once in a week because that's a lot of, you know, whatever. I say twice because I'm gonna be doing a bit of driving. Well, no, because I forgot this weekend is supposed to snow and be a wintry mix or whatever, so I don't think we're gonna get too much. I'm gonna do what I can tomorrow, Friday evening, after I turn this equipment in and all that or whatever. But after that, I think, you know, I try to get something early Saturday before it come down too bad, if it comes down like that. But I don't think it's gonna be no motion really Saturday evening or Sunday. But again, I don't know, we'll see. But definitely next week, you know, Monday, Tuesday, you know, up until we get into week 4, I can listen in or whatever because I had the time, because you know, just be out here driving. So I think I should at least, you know, get the first listen and hear what I can out of it. And I'm gonna try to lock in on both, but if I don't get to lock in and hear like that on the first one, definitely the second listen. So that's where we at. We'll see how this book goes or whatever. What was really cool, like I said, I be trying to make sure I had the structure right. Again, the job is over after tomorrow, so nothing special there. I did hear back because the manager let me know that the person that I had reached out to that was at the staffing agency that had got me the job, they aren't there anymore. So when I reached out, I'm like, dang, they ain't responding. I let my manager know last week. They was like, oh yeah, no, they're not there, but here's the person information. So I reached out to the person last Friday, and I didn't hear back from them until today, like late in the afternoon, almost 3-4 o'clock. So I was like, dang, I think that person like forget you or whatever. They was like, nope, we on it, I got you. Such and such is handling, you know, Rex or whatever. So I'm gonna tag them in and we're gonna see if we can get somewhere. So I'm like, cool, you know, that's cool, that works. And so that will work. Like I say, it's over in the morning. I'm finna get to the house and pack this stuff up tonight so I can get there in the morning and get situated or whatever. But like I said, I don't feel no pressure in my heart. I feel like with the business, the way it's been going, we're gonna be fine. So and it's funny how that worked, because I was recording last Thursday, I think. Did I record when I left last week? Or did I record while I was doing, playing 2K? I don't remember what I did for week 2. But I'm heading back from this job now. And the job I'm heading back from is the one that I did last week. So if I did record heading back, it was coming back from them, but I couldn't speak on it then. So I did a trampoline last Thursday. And I've done trampolines before, assembly and disassembly. I know that they're going to take, you know, typically a trampoline going to take me, depending on the size, because I haven't done a small. I think they 12 to 16, the ones I've done. I've seen like 10-foot ones, but I haven't done the 10-foot one. So bigger, more springs, take a little bit of time or whatever. So the first one that I did, and the first one, of course, you know, I'm going in blind, no experience or whatever, just following all the instructions. I think it took me like 4 hours. So I'm like, all right, cool. So this one is bigger than the first one was for sure. So I'm like, again, maybe 5, you know, add another hour. What is important to know, and what I'll definitely go to look for now moving forward, if I'm dealing with a trampoline, is how the base attaches to, how the net, the top net, if it got the, like, what you call it, you know, we grew up, like, I'm a, you know, 90s, 2000s kid or whatever. That's not when I was born, but that's when I was a kid and a teenager or whatever. The trampolines we had, wasn't no net around it. If you fail, you fail. You're gonna build some character and toughness or whatever, have a scar to show for it. But, you know, making sure kids are safer now. A lot of the trampolines have nets around them to make sure that you don't, you know, fall off and hurt yourself and sustain some of the injuries that people my age and older sustain jumping on trampolines. So with that net, it's at the top or whatever. It's like the top net, and it's like some kind of mechanism you'll have for it to attach at the top, and then of course it attaches to the base at the bottom where the springs are. I can't remember how the first trampoline that I did attached to the base at the bottom, but this one right here. Okay, so first of all, it's 180 springs, right? So boom, the first trampoline, I had me and my oldest BRON with me or whatever, and we over here trying to just strongman this thing, because I didn't pay attention to that you're supposed to use a tool to pull the spring to take out the citrus. So you're not over here using all your, I'm talking, I got to work out. We was tired, sweaty, and it started raining. So that was rough, that first one. And we got like maybe, I think, a third of the way through the springs before the rain was too much. And I'm like, let's go. Then I looked at the video again and I saw the tool. So springs was nothing. This trampoline that I did last Thursday had 180 springs. And it was nothing to do because with 180 springs, I had the tool. So boom, I think it only took me like maybe 20 minutes to put all 180 springs. That's nothing. So I got there. I had been there like around 5 hours, and I'm like, man, I'm almost out of here. Cool. Let the owner know they had to go get their kids. So I'm like, hey, I'm probably be checking out. You know, I'll probably gone before you get back. Whatever. Then I get to the instruction where it shows how the net attaches to the base. Oh boy, well, we in for a surprise. So I go and I look at it and I'm like, all right. And I saw these strings. There's nothing left but some strings, because the last thing you do typically is put on, if it has a basketball goal, the basketball goal is probably the last step. You attach the net to the base, attach the stairs, because they usually got stairs or whatever for them to climb, and then attach the basketball goal. Basketball goal, net, the base, net to the base, and the stairs. So I done did the stairs, boom. I ain't did the basketball goal yet, but I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go ahead and attach this base. And I'm thinking I'm finna be out there in 30 minutes. Oh, what a surprise I was in for. I saw these strings. I think it might have been like 13 strings or something like that, 12, 13 strings. I'm like, all right, what am I doing with these strings? So, like I said, it's 180 springs. Each spring has 6 holes in between it that you need to weave one of the strings through. Then, tied into the spring, 6 more holes. So, I'm great at math, but forget that, I gotta calculate. Let me run out the road, drive with my knees. If any kids see this, don't drive with your knees when you get older. I've been doing this for a long time. So let's see, 180 times 6, 180, like 900, something like that, times 6, 1080. So I'm thinking I'm finna be gone in a few minutes. Meanwhile, I need to weave 1,080 holes. And then oh my God, this took me like an extra hour and a half. And it's cold, it's like 40 degrees outside. So I finished that. And right when the owner gets back, the last thing I had to do was the basketball goal. And it's cold outside, so I'm like, man, I know this basketball goal might take me 30 minutes, but I can start my car and I can do this in the car. So when they pull up, I'm in the car. So I'm like, again, imposter syndrome, thinking people gonna, you know, be flipping out or whatever. Or, oh, you sitting on shop time because I was charging Apple. I'm like, hey, I'm not sitting on shop time. I told her about the springs or whatever. Like, you know, it was 1,000 holes that I had to weave or whatever. And I'm just finishing up the basketball goal. Once I finish this, I'm gone. I should be on in 30 minutes. She's like, you're fine. Like, I trust that you're not sitting on shop time. I've seen you working. I'm mad that it's even this cold when we're doing it. I wish it was warmer, but yeah, no, do what you need to do. Whatever it costs, we're fine with paying it. Okay, I just, want to let you know I'm not sitting on shop time. I've been working since you've been gone. I did not know that the base was going to attach, with the mechanism that it did. So, whatever. So she was good with it, whatever. So I had that my very first client. I had them again. And it was just she had ordered a single, like how you have a couch or whatever, but it's a 1-seater. So I know a little seater is like 2 seats or whatever. So I don't know what you call a 1-seater, but she had a little 1-seater. It took me like 20, 30 minutes to put together, and she had 4 under the sink because she's super organized. Like, she got OCD, and I asked her, I think she's a minimalist. Like, no, ain't finna been a whole bunch of junk and clutter here. As little as it takes, and it's super organized. Like, the house looks very neat. So 4 sink organizers, I did those. It literally took me to do all 5 items. It took me, how long did it take? She had 4 under the sink organizers and the thing. It took me 55 minutes exactly. Like, I was going in less than an hour. So boom, knocked that out. And then I had, I think last week last week was my sister with the TVs and the mirrors. And so I actually did my first fan at my pop's house. My stepmom's ordered this fancy fan or whatever. I'm like, can you put it up? I can look at YouTube. I always say, yeah, if I think I can do it. If it's something that I didn't think I could do, I would, I like with the tennis ball machine, I let that client know, hey, this look like, more electrical than assembly. I don't want to tell you no lies. I tried, so I'm gonna let a person know if I don't think I can do it. But I'm like, I've looked up fans. I talked to feel like fans ain't hard. I'm like, man, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, I can do it, Mom. So looked it up, get there. The instructions are kind of clear. My main thing is like, I don't want to electrocute myself, and I don't want to short circuit nothing, because I don't do it right. So I made sure, went to the breaker box, boom, turned it off, got to working. I'm getting through. The only issue I ran into, it's my first one, so I'm trying to do everything 100% the way that it said. So the bracket had 4 screws that you can use or whatever, but it's like screwed into the ceiling. And I'm like, okay, you know, I need to find a stud or something. And so I can't find it or whatever. So I called Phil, and I'm like, yo, Uncle Phil, you done did a fan before. I'm like, I'm working on the fan right now. It's my first one. I don't see how I'm supposed to attach this. Like, it's saying find the stud. He like, nah, you shouldn't have to do that. Like, let me see what it looked like. So I show him the bracket. He like, show him the bracket, show him the fan. He like, nah, you should be able to just tie in one of the screws or whatever on the bracket to the fan, and then you should be able to work it out on the other side and just screw that into the ceiling. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a go. So I messed with it, boom, screw the first one in, look. And like I said, where it had 4 holes, there were also 2 holes in between each of the 4 holes. So, or it was a lot like a line, almost like a reel. So you could fit it almost anywhere. There's a lot of playing area and space for you to, you know, attach it or whatever. So I look and I'm like, put the first one on down, look, I'm like, man, this thing can screw right into the old bracket from the old fan. So boom, once I got that worked out, we good. The assembly wasn't no problem. I'm attaching all the wires, you know, making sure I do it as it says. And from what I see, cap one off, because somebody jimmy rigged it. You could tell it was like they tied an extra wire in, and so I didn't need that at all. I just capped it off or whatever. And I'm like, I hope, you know, this don't mess up the fan or the light. So get everything done. I'm finished, and then I'm about to attach the lights, because like I said, it's a very modern fan or whatever. It's not like the traditional with the regular blades. No, like it closes into like really small, and then it folds out. It's very futuristic. And then you attach the lights last. They don't have regular light bulbs. I think the light bulbs are like electric, so like not using a regular bulb, you'll never have to replace it. At least that's what we saw, like what the conclusion me and the family came to. So I done finished everything. I'm like, man, all I gotta do is attach the lights, and it's 4 like caps that you use to attach the lights. That's it. I done looked all over. I never saw them caps. They weren't in the box. So I had to run to a store and get I ran to O'Reilly's and just got like 4 similar caps or whatever that would fit. Boom, put those on, turn the breaker back on. All right, moment of truth. Hit the switch. It turned on. The fan opened up perfect. I'm like, man, hey, I do this. I'm that guy. Like, of course, I got a long way to go before I'm him. But to be, you know, having success with these things, you know, and fighting that imposter syndrome, doing this is the most I've faced imposter syndrome in my life. Because I'm like, you know, like I said, business owner and running the business, and then I be going and trying stuff that I hadn't done before. So I'm like, man, I don't want to mess up. And, you know, that little doubt just creep in the back, and I done quieted it every time. So, it's been cool. I had one person reach out that wanted me to do like a power tower, the little pull-ups and lat pulls, stuff like that, like workout equipment or whatever. And so I was like, I know that's gonna take a few hours. I charge $60 an hour. I need to stop saying that, because eventually my rate gonna go up and the people start watching. You said 60, I had that. That was at start 2026. We up now. But so I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, cool, this is how much it costs. And they're like, oh, can you charge a flat rate? I'm like, yeah, if I charge a flat rate, it's gonna be this. They want to do it for half of the flat rate. I'm absolutely not. I'm like, that'll probably take me 4 hours, but I'm being generous and saying I'm gonna charge you 3.5. So I'm like, you know, 200 something. And then, can you do it for 100? No, get somebody else to do it. I ain't going. So I ain't get that, and I ain't worried about it, and I ain't hurt. So, like I say, man, just real eye-opening, and it's been a pleasure. Like the money that I'm making, and me being responsible with it. Boom, I got, you know, money and savings. I was able to fix my car, and like when my oldest, his soccer coming up, I was just able to put something on that versus, you know, before, boy, sometimes we done had some tight margins, and we got something to play in our margins. All the bills paid, everything, you know, sitting pretty. I need to figure out why my car sound like that. I think it's the struts. I got my oil change just now, and they gave me a long list of stuff they were trying to fix at Meineke, and they said that my struts was bad. So I think that might be the noise, but the struts were like a band. We might have to wait the tax time to get that. I don't know. I can probably buy the parts like next week, but if I'm gonna go and get somewhere else to put it on, I know the labor gonna be between the parts gonna be 3 to 4, and then the labor gonna be like 4 to 6 or 7. It said, so that's $1,000 that I'm looking at. I always aim high versus low, so you know, we'll see though. Just happy with where we are, man, and the way the year playing out, the way that the business is going. Had some pretty interesting rides, and I think I really want to look into that. I was listening to The Alchemist, And young brother hopped in my car. He's 24. And he was like, shoot, bro, how old are you? I told him, I'm like, boy, I'm about 40. I'm like, wow, what's up? And he was like, got to talk to me about his pops and said they didn't have a relationship when they was growing up, and now his pops trying to have it now. And he like, you know, I think he said he might have left him for somebody, like another lady in their family or whatever like that. And, you know, just trying to get over there. He was like, you know, I'm young, man, and I just, you know, I don't feel like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't feel like I'm doing right. And again, we know me, I like to yap. So I'm like, boy, you 24. I said, I will cut off my right foot to be your age. I said, you got time on your side. Don't feel like you got to have it all. And if you're feeling like that, you're probably, comparison is the thief of joy. Don't compare, you know, yourself even to other 24-year-olds or 20-year-olds or 19-year-olds. You got, I think I Show Speed just turned 21 yesterday. Through the millionaire, I think at least 10 times over, they said. That's amazing and great. That's his journey. You know what I'm saying? And he found what worked for him and it worked. Don't compare yourself to Speed unless you're going to do what Speed, even still, if you are doing what Speed doing, you on your journey, he on his. You know what I mean? There's rappers all over the place. Jay-Z the only billionaire rapper I know. You know what I mean? There's athletes and people that play sports all over, but it's a very few of them that are billionaires to that level. And everything ain't about money. Some people it's about impact or whatever, but I'm just saying, I was like, you know, don't compare yourself or whatever. And he was like, you know, being somebody that's older, what advice would you give to, you know, somebody my age? I was like, first of all, feed yourself knowledge. I said, you walk around with a computer in your pocket all day long, learn. I said, you see how I'm listening to audio books or whatever? I'm learning so much from this. And I was like, if I learned and got up on, because a lot of people don't like to read, I'm like, you ain't got to read, you can listen to a book or find a podcast. Whatever you feel you want to do and where you want to succeed, you find the information. You pour into that fully, you know, and it'll help you get to where you need to go. And I was like, also, you know, once you find that sense of direction, if it's something you know you want to do, and if you can find a mentor that's done what you want to do, that can help you with some of the, you know, avoid some of the pitfalls, learn some of the bumps, and get you some of that guidance. And he was like, man, like I think he lingered when he got out, and I don't know, like I be in my head a lot, so I'm like, I don't want to feel like, you know, he just asked me questions, but he didn't ask me to be his mentor, but he did kind of linger when he got out, like, bro, you gone, if you don't say nothing, I ain't gonna say nothing. Like, again, I be in my head like, I never want anything to come off as I'm cocky, arrogant, or, you know what I'm saying, I think too highly of myself. You didn't ask, I ain't gonna say. So I gave you what I gave you. We sat and rapped for like 15 minutes when he got to work or whatever. And like I said, he lingered or whatever. So that was an interesting ride. I had a couple. Oh my God, man, people are so inconsiderate. So I actually had somebody vomit in my car, and I ain't had that happen in, I think, like, if not 4, at least 3 years. So out downtown Saturday, is, you know, they clubbing and partying. They hop in, it's a group ride or whatever, so like 5 people that hop in or whatever. The person that ordered the ride, he's sitting up front with me. I think it's like 2 women and 2 dudes in the back. So cool, we rapping or whatever. Get to where, you know, we're like literally, when I say 110 seconds, not even 2 minutes from where they're going. And we're pulling up to a red light, like about to be at a red light. And I hear the dude like, are you okay? To one of the women. And she's sitting behind me, he's in the middle. And she like hardly like mumble or whatever. Like, And I was like, you know, we need to pull over. He was like, no, I think we're good. So then I hear him like, head out the window, head out the window. No, ain't no head out the window. Get the hell out. So out the window, cool. We get to where we're going. They get out. And I'm like, okay, because that out the window, it's never worked. Anybody who's done that, they always get something in the car. Or even if you get it out the window, you don't have your whole body out of the car. So it's going to be on the, I don't want it on the outside of my car either. I'm trying to get, otherwise I'm going to have to stop and clean that up. So for sure, I look back, oh no, it's in the window, in the cup holder on the door, in the door jet, the door where the door handle, under the door handle, because my car got like an extra space under the door handle, like a storage. It's throw up in, oh, you motherfuckers. I be trying not to cuss here, but fuck that. Oh, hell nah, I'm mad. So reach out to Lyft, they, reimburse me. You know what? Now what they reimburse way more than what they normally have. Boy, somebody comes over my car once a week, y'all gonna pay this. I can go get a detail and still have some change left over. But I was really pissed off because it was inconsiderate. Like, I'm sitting here saying that I'll pull over. This didn't have to happen. But you know what? And it's even worse, like if it was the dude who ordered the ride, that would be one thing. But y'all cost y'all friend, and he might have it like that, but I wouldn't do that to my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro, hey, pull over real quick, boom. It would have been, the girl only threw up for like 15 seconds. Would have pulled over, so let's say 30 seconds. I take a few seconds to stop. You throw up, get yourself together, wipe your mouth, back in the car. 2 2 minutes. We right way on 2.5 minutes. It would have added 30 seconds. So whatever. That was that. What else? I talked about books. Oh yeah, so of course, I talked about all like everything from last week or whatever, pretty much. And then looking back to week 2 of 2025, I think it's funny, that's what I was finna say. I was in that same boat. I don't remember which one I had listened to, but I was talking about the same thing of which one is my favorite between The Richest Man in Babylon and The Alchemist or whatever, and couldn't decide. So like I say, it's dope to look back at, man, really? I had listened to these two, so I don't know what I listened to week 1. I think it was Eat the Frog last year. I don't remember. I ain't finna go back and look. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, to be in that same boat, I might have listened to The Richest Man in Babylon first or whatever. But I was like, man, I was literally sitting here talking about the same thing last year. So with that not being a goal, you know, that I didn't reach, just the irony of literally the same books I'm talking about or whatever, the same week, that was kind of cool to see or whatever. Still pissed off because, of course, I had long, luxurious braids in my head, and this funky fucker here that messed up my head. But whatever, we over. It's gonna grow back. I'm embracing it, and I'm kind of, you know, enjoying the journey, whatever. Seeing a little bit of growth back already from all that he chopped off. And I know that I was saying that, you know, it was very similar, or he cut it just like Buddy did. No. My hair was longer than this. After growing it for 1 year, when the dude did cut it into a high top, he didn't take all, like, man, he cut it into like a high top afro. So it still was a fro, but it was uneven. You know what I'm saying? He cut off a good bit of the back, but when I went back, me and my best friend were talking about it and looked at her wedding picture, and I saw it, and I was like, nah, like I still could get braids and could do something with what no, bro. If I get braids, they ain't even gonna touch my neck. Like, they was on my neck then. He taped the back up so much that, like, no, it's nothing. It's nothing back there. So again, 6 months a year with me doing what I'm doing, I think, versus it taking 3 years to grow, I think by the time we get to 2020, the end of 2027, start of 2028, hopefully, I have back to 3 years of growth that this bastard cut off. Ooh, I wish bad on him. Not really, but it do piss me off, I ain't gonna lie. So that was that. We were supposed to go to the beginning of this week. So no, never mind. What else? Oh, my brother's birthday passed or whatever, so it was real dope, man. I got him the Xbox that he wanted. He was super excited. Now he was like, yeah, I was streaming. There was like 4 or 5 people watching. He was really excited, you know what I'm saying, to be playing the game or whatever. And he got his room kind of set up. His girlfriend got him some LED lights in there. So he got a nice little setup, I guess, you know, especially for him to be streaming or whatever. And you can just see he's excited and enjoying it. And I'm happy for him. He got his baseball bat, so everybody happy, man. I just finished paying the money for my youngest son, so at the start of February, he'll be able to go to the soccer thing next month in February. So he gonna be really, like, you know, Wednesday we'll be doing karate, Friday soccer, so he gonna be super excited, man. Me and his granddad went to eat lunch with him. We all had Jack in the Box. I ain't had nothing but fries, because of course I can't eat nothing because I don't eat meat, but we went to Jack in the Box, and man, just like I say, life is really, compared to last year, man, I'm smiling more. And I mean, I was smiling more out of optimism then. Like, life wasn't great, and I ain't gonna say life the best now, but my smile now is more about enjoying the moments of now versus, you know, the anticipation of life turning around. You know, like I said, I was talking to my best friend, and yeah, actually, I forgot that. Yeah, I did a job for my best friend too, finally, because she done hit me up like 3 times to do jobs for her, and then her husband and dad would just do it or whatever, which that's fine, I ain't got no issue with it. But I was like, so was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yesterday was when? I'm gonna say it was yesterday. And her birthday's actually today, so happy birthday, Raggedy. That's my homie. So hit me up and wanted me to put together, I think it was a six drawer dresser or whatever. So I was like, cool. I was gonna do it, you know, for the free because it was their birthday, like her birthday or whatever. And she was like, nah, we're not doing that. You know, I'm going to support your business. So I'm like, all right, I ain't going to argue with you. Just give me a tip or whatever. So I get there. I'm taking everything out. I pull out, like, it's a random little piece. And I'm like, it's like it fell off or something. But I'm going to wait and see. Get to, you know, pull the big piece out. Yep, nope, that broke off or whatever. So I'm like, let me see if we still could do it. Will it affect functionality and safety or whatever? Because it was a dresser that also had a changing table on top. So my biggest thing was the changing table. Like, you're going to be putting, you know, my godson on there. I want to make sure this thing's straight. So that part was broke, and then there was another rail I pulled out. I'm like, yeah, nah, 2 pieces broke. I don't feel comfortable doing that. You know, like I said, if it was just a regular dresser, maybe, but dresser and the changing table, nah. And she was like, won't use the changing table like that anyway. I'm like, either way, you paid for it. You get another one, I'll finish assembling. So she did have a rocking chair for, I guess, you know, when she just in there with her kids to be able to rock or whatever. And she was like, well, you can do this still and make some money. I'm like, I ain't worried about the money. Like, I'm okay. Like I said, I was gonna do this for free for your birthday anyway. So we straight. I just want to make sure that it works, you know. It functions how it's supposed to. So I did the chair for her. And it's funny, like, you get to working and doing these jobs, and sometimes moving so fast, you overlook stuff. So I overlooked, like, I can't even think of what the word was or whatever, how to word it, but I overlooked the small part, and I was like done. So I went to sit on it, and it made it like, this ain't locked in how it's supposed to sound. I'm like, oh god. She was like, what is that? I'm like, then I looked, and it was like some rails that, I didn't put a rail into a slot for it or whatever. So hopped up, boom, unscrewed it real quick, put the rails in, sat back down, and I'm like, all right, that's why I like to check it first. So that was cool, man. And like I said, all in just been, this is a really good year so far. This is a really good year. So I'm gonna work on my resume tomorrow, my last day while I'm at the job, because I'm like, I don't foresee, you know, I'd be surprised if they're sending me work like that, because it's my last day. I mean, if they do, I ain't got no issue with it. I'm gonna knock out whatever they send, but if they don't, I'll definitely focus on my resume, because my manager, they're good with like I said, I'm good with words or whatever. My punctuation is trash, and I ain't got no shame about it. Don't care. I'm almost 40. I done got by this far without it. I throw a comma, semicolon, and a colon, wherever I feel like. But you know, hopefully we had the time so my manager could help me with that. There's a role at the company that I saw, and I'm like, am I the greatest for it? No, but again, that imposter syndrome. Leave it to me to, you know, leave it to me assembly to help me get over that. I can do anything. So I'm gonna apply. Like I tell other people, worst case scenario, I get the rejection email, you know, with other candidates, you don't have experience, and I'm in the same boat I was already in, so I ain't got nothing to lose. So I'm gonna do that. A recruiter from LinkedIn reached out to me today, but it seemed like one of those recruiting agencies where it's like, y'all just be doing stuff to get the numbers. I don't think y'all be placing people. I ain't had good experience with companies like yours, but once I do my resume, they was like, you know, send your resume. So I finished the resume tomorrow. I'll send it or whatever. And yeah, just get back out there, start applying next week, and just really hit the ground running. Like I said, it's supposed to snow and all that this week, so I would, you know, if it wasn't gonna be doing all that wintry mixing and whatnot they calling for, then I would be trying to get some jobs for the weekend. But like I said, if the weather looks okay and I can throw a couple dollars in there and maybe grab something for Sunday, I will. But we're planning by ear. We'll see. But that's week 3 in the books, man. And I'm going to upload this as soon as matter of fact, I'm going to upload it now. Because I remember I could, you know, change the little caption or whatever, but it still got to upload and all that. So I'm going to upload it now. And I feel good about that because, you know, nothing getting away from me. I'm not having to try to remember and go back, because I know with 2025, I think week 10 it was. Week 10 was when I was doing it on my little laptop or whatever. And it like malfunctioned or corrupted or something. So I couldn't upload week 10. And then I have all the ones after that. Like I didn't miss any, but I misnumbered them because they're still 51 weeks, but 1 week I don't know where it's at. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to place it or get it right. So whatever, it is what it is. I'm out. I'll holler at you next week. I love you. Be safe. Be kind to yourself. And remember, all our goals and everything we're working on is gonna happen overnight. Plural with an S. It's not gonna happen overnight unless we win the lottery, and that still won't fix everything. All right, I'll holler at you, my guy.